Sorry, I feel a little lightheaded from all the Kool-Aid I've been forced to drink. And where am I getting this Kool-Aid, you ask? Ah, Jim Jordan and Comer Pyle, Mr. James Comer. These Oversight and Judiciary Committee hacks are unbelievable. Lies, talking points, conspiracies, and more lies. They want all Americans to drink their Kool-Aid. Do they think we're idiots? These two Jims walk around like Tweedledee and Tweedledum with their thumbs up their asses and think no one knows what they're doing. Well, bye-bye.
Let me give you some evidence. It's called the 1023 form that the confidential human source gave to the FBI that they recorded in this form. U.S. Attorney in Pittsburgh, tasked by the Justice Department to evaluate information regarding Burisma, the Bidens, and Ukraine, said, we found this confidential human source to be credible. Now we know why he won him fired, because the confidential human source told us.
You make a procedure off indictment?
Well, I mean, it is what it is, so doesn't change the fundamental facts.
Those allegations from the FB's 1923 are now found to all be lies. So how does that impact the investigation?
I think you should ask the FBI on the board.
You said the 1023 is the most corroborating piece of information you have.
It corroborates, but it doesn't change those fundamental facts. So now
but it's not true.
Well, so okay, so
but your promotion of a bribery scheme was false.
After a former FBI informant whose claims were central to the GOP inquiry was arrested last week for lying about Biden and his son Hunter accepting $5 million bribes.
How many conspiracy theorists does it take to change a light bulb? Apparently 2. Millions of dollars, multiple appearances on Fox News, and years of trying to confuse the issue with the same old MAGA talking points.
Biden is accused of taking foreign bribes in exchange for policy decisions. Comer believes these claims are credible.
This is a highly credible, in fact, one of their most highly credible human sources.
This is a document they created, and they created it based on what Jamie Comer just said. They had a credible source, one of their good sources.
According to this highly credible, well-respected human source, then there was a bribe made.
You have the confidential FBI informant who's basically saying that Joe Biden took $5 million from Burisma.
The informant was a highly valued human source for the FBI.
A trusted, highly credible informant.
A trusted, confidential informant.
Their most credible paid FBI informant.
A credible FBI source relayed that Joe and Hunter Biden each got paid $5 million. And now it turns out was apparently all a lie, and not just a lie, but a criminal lie. With special counsel David Weiss, a Republican, the same guy prosecuting Hunter Biden, determining that the informant intentionally exaggerated the nature of his, quote, unextraordinary contact with Burisma executives in order to smear President Biden.
We've been waiting for years to see all the dirty details of Hunter and Joe Biden promised by the Republicans. The laptop, where is it? What's on it? Well, Marge will tell you that's where she got the dick pics she's obsessed with. While they pull their political stunts, walk around with their tinfoil hats, not producing a shred of evidence, hint, hint, there is no laptop, Alexander Smirnov pulled their pants over their heads, revealing their abject failure.
He wasn't an important part of this investigation because I didn't even know who he was. All I knew was there was a 1023 that alleged bribery. My investigation's about all the money the Bidens have taken.
Twice now, Republicans have become witting or unwitting useful idiots, spreading lies about Joe Biden to hurt his chances in the presidential election, never minding what happens to this country in the process.
We were warned that the credibility of this statement was not known, and yet people... my colleagues went out and talked to the public about how this was credible and how it was damning and how it proved President Biden's, at the time, Vice President Biden's complicity in receiving bribes. It appears to absolutely be false.
Could you go to work, not do your job, lie to your coworkers, and take money from people working against your company just to defame your boss? I think not.
And today, in the most spectacular embarrassment imaginable, it blew up in their faces. You see the special counsel, Republican appointee, leading the case against Hunter Biden, who was appointed by Donald Trump, now says that that guy, this informant they hung their entire claim on about the bribe, he lied.
Supposed basis for Joe Biden's impeachment was based on lies that are also possibly Russian propaganda.
So James Comer and Jim Jordan, they knew that this was not corroborated information, yet they still went public with it, talked about it on television, used it to fuel these investigations regardless?
That's what it appears. I certainly didn't have any evidence outside the statement itself that it was credible.
Jim Jordan used this as the basis for the hearings he has been conducting for the last 13 months. If these Republican lawmakers in the House of Representatives were knowingly using this Russian plant to get information, flimsy as it was at the time, and now we know, of course, it was completely fraudulent, but if that's what they're using to go after the Bidens, these people should be in jail.
The definition of fraud is criminal deception intended in financial or personal gain. Treason is defined as attempting by overt action to overthrow the government to which the offender owes allegiance, the United States of America. At minimum, the two Jims need to be arrested and jailed for fraud and treason against the United States. By definition alone, they've proved their case. In their sycophant desire to show their allegiance to Donald Trump, they've taken their place in history as dim-witted lemurs who were not able to stand up for the American dream of democracy and the American people. Well, that's our show. If you liked our content, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. I know everyone says it, but it really does help. Until next time.